Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Alright, good evening everybody and welcome to round 1 of the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup here for Velocity on iRacing. We are here at the 2.5 mile Legacy Pocono Raceway, the 2009 scan of this super speedway with only 3 turns because you don't need 4. It's going to be a great race here. We have seen this race last year as well. In case you didn't watch the highlights yet, it was a banger of a race, so I'm expecting more or less the same compared to last year, and it was a great race to watch with a lot of drafting and especially passing down into turn 1 as well because the front stretch is so wide. You can see the track information right here. It's a 4.03 kilometer oval, which is 2.5 miles. Long pond in Pocono, in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania, of course. You can see the weather as well. 69% humidity, 20 degrees ambient air temperature, sorry. It's more or less the same thing, isn't it, anyway? But 3 kilometers per hour winds, partly cloudy, so a little bit cooler compared to last year when this race was ran, but should be a very similar on-track product anyway, which is only good because the race last year was so good, and you will hear me bring that up countless times tonight. The reason I say tonight, by the way, is because it's 8:35 p.m. in Europe, so yeah, if you guys are watching from the US or even from Australia when it's morning, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say tonight because it's easier for me. So, round 1 here at Pocono. I'm going to quickly go through the track first. Here you can see the track information once again. 14 degrees banking into turn 1, 8 degrees into turn 2, and 6 degrees into turn 3. It is a 2.5 mile super speedway, 4.0 kilometers. Super speedway is the track type. 60 laps is going to be the race distance, or 150 miles. Pitch speed limiter 55 miles per hour. And the keys to the race, well, it's about a 34 lap fuel window, and the racing will be very interesting. It's an understeering setup, which normally you would think would cause some issues, but this car has little to no dirty air. So what that does is it actually creates some really good racing, really close racing, especially into those 3 turns. And with all the drafting happening as well around here, that should make a very interesting race for sure. Drive is currently out on qualifying laps. And we'll grab the pole run here in just a second. But looking at the schedule for this year, of course running through the month of December and also the 2nd of January next month. But starting tonight, Pocono, 60 laps. The next race will be tomorrow. Same time, same place at Phoenix Raceway, the 2008 scan. Then we have a week off until December the 18th. When we return for Indianapolis, also 150 miles around the 2.5 mile super speedway over there in Indiana. Then round 4 at Charlotte the next day on the 19th, which is 125 miles. And Charlotte is going to be a really good race, by the way. I made the setup for that, just like all the tracks, and Charlotte is going to be absolute carnage. So make sure that you tune in on the 19th of December for round 4. Round 5 at Nashville. It's an interesting track that we don't really know what this car does there. Of course, we know it from real life, but on iRacing we don't really know because the track is so new to the sim. So we have to wait and see for ourselves on the 23rd of December, the day before Christmas Eve, so Christmas Eve, I guess. And then we return for the final round of the season of the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup on the 2nd of January at Auto Club Speedway, which will also be the host to the season opener in the Euro and Main Series starting next year, which is kind of funny to say, but it is true. The new season starts in the next year. So yeah, that concludes the pre-race stuff. And it's time to cover qualifying for a quick second here, and I think we have a few cars out on track, so let's see if we can grab one. Here is Sebastian Kinder in the 58 car, as they're bringing in the timing tower as well. This is now warm-up. So qualifying has completed. This is also a bit of a new part for me. I added in the warm-up to this race to kind of cover everything a little bit better for you guys, to kind of introduce you guys to this car. So this car was run between 2003 to 2011. Of course, it ended at the tragic race at Las Vegas, but yeah, this car is known for its crazy and, well, ridiculous back racing on some tracks, and most of the tracks even, I should say. But that makes it fun for us to use on the sim, so that's why we used this last year. And of course, returning now again is the Classic Christmas Cup. Luis Gonzalez Nunez won that title last year. I do not believe he is here tonight, unfortunately, so he will not be here to defend his crown. But the purpose of this series really is to just have some fun in the off-season between our regular seasons and the main series, and also the Euro series, of course. And in a way, this is also a bit of a preview for the 2005 IndyCar series that will be ran next year as well, which is a proper league with a little bit of prize money involved, which will be sponsored by Dakota the Maid, by the way, with Sunset Arctic graphics. But more on that soon. Sign-ups are open on the Discord, so when I get the chance, I will try to post the Discord link in the chat, so you guys can join the Discord and sign up for that. We have a few sign-ups for it already, most of which are also racing here tonight, so that's great. So yeah, car's currently in warm-up. It's time to get rid of the timing screens for just a second and cover the starting grid. This is the moment I hope that everything is correct in the setup. There it is. So Gavin Sanders takes the pole position by 29 thousandths over the 29 of Shane Coogan. Oscar Fredrickson and Dakota the Maid will be starting from row 2. And I know that Oscar doesn't really drive this car too often, neither does Gavin. So they're going to be in for an interesting time. I think Oscar did the last race last year at Autoclub Speedway, so he has some experience. I don't think Gavin has any. Shane raced with us last year as well as Dakota. Jan Hoffman, racing for Vortex Sim Racing in the Classic IndyCar Series, makes his first ever start with us here tonight in VOR. The Classic IndyCar Series has an Euro 5 league, by the way, which uses this exact car and is broadcast on RaceSpot. So yeah, that's kind of why this idea came about as well for a 2005 series. We kind of wanted to do something similar to them, but fixed setup. So that's the idea behind the fixed 2005 series. But Lewis Woodall returns for a second running in this Christmas Cup in P6. Gary Gotzo, P7. And he lost this car. He doesn't. Seb Kinder, P8. For Team Watson Racing, and he has a Bourdais throwback livery. I will try to talk about that in just a moment. But Dan Marrera and Thomas Geisler make up row 5. And Thomas is running his regular IR18 paint on this car, which was put together by Dakota. So if you want to check out any iRacing paints, check out Sunset Arctic Graphics. Matt Hummel, P11. He is a new driver to the league altogether, so we welcome him. Craig Forsyth returns as well into P12 on the starting grid. And then we've got Ty Richter, Jonathan Diggs, another new driver, as well as Brandon Dollar. And Alex van der Sant not setting a time. He is the reigning main series champion. Came close last year to the title, but came up a few points short on Luis Gonzalez Nunez. So that's the starting grid for tonight's race. 5 minutes left in warm-up. Gavin Sanders currently quickest. Again, this is warm-up, so it doesn't really say anything about the starting grid or the race, apart from maybe how your car handles in traffic. So with 5 minutes to go, we will quickly step aside for a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with you guys for the start of the first round in the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup, as we have a big crash there as well for good measure.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Alright, back here at Pocono for round 1 in the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup. About 4 minutes left in the warm-up session now, as we see a few drivers messing around a little bit. Normally they aren't allowed to do this, but it's a fun league anyway. It's a bit of a festive season, so we'll let it slide for this time around. But just quickly gonna talk about a few drivers here, if we can catch Seb Kinder out on track. And there you go, he actually listens to me, he goes out on track for me, so I can talk about his livery for a little bit. So, Sepp Kinder made a livery which is based on the 2005 and 2006 Champ Car season. Sébastien Bourdais ran this in that series during that year, and he was unmatched in the Champ Car, of course, winning a few titles in a row. I'm not sure how many exactly in a row, because I don't have that information to me, but it's safe to say he won quite a few titles in there. So yeah, of course, that was in the end of the Champ Car era, where most of the competition did kind of fade away to the IRL, which is now the IndyCar series these days. But still, that doesn't really take away anything from his achievements, because it's not easy to win a title in any series that you race in. And of course, Sepp Kinder, his first name is Sebastian, which is the same as Sébastien Bourdais. So for him, it's quite special to run this paint. And it was even approved by him on Twitter, by Sébastien Bourdais. So that was pretty cool to see as well. And actually, I don't even want to know how he felt when he saw Sébastien Bourdais liking his tweet. But that's the story behind his paint. Now, Oscar and Gavin are just running some VOR paints, nothing too special about it, as they're driving the road course. They're gonna get disqualified from the session, just so they are aware. But yeah, Oscar running a Christmas red, blue, not blue, white and black. Black is the word I wanted to say. Paint, of course, the Christmas colors. The only one really missing there is green, even though it's on the camera mounting on the top. So I guess it does have all the Christmas colors, but Lewis Woodall running his controversial NASCAR paint. We're not going to talk about this too much. It's just an annoyance, really. So Dan Morera running a pattern paint. I'm not sure what this is based off of, but I guess it looks kind of catchy with all the yellow. And pretty cool helmet design too, by the way, with some yellow. I guess it's a cute smiley face. So then we've got Craig Forsyth. Usually he runs a Forsyth paint because one of his family members ran the Forsyth team. I'm not sure which side of the family ran it, but anyway, he is a family member from the Forsyth family that ran the Champ Car team, or the kart team. Oh, there he is. I was looking at the wrong driver, that helps. So I was looking at the 29 of Shane Cook, and he runs the STP livery like he usually does. That was the confusion, I'm sorry. But 1 minute left in the warm-up session. So I have another big crash on the backstretch, but I have to say, looking forward to this race I am. Briefly mentioned last time around before we went to the commercial break, this race last year was a pretty chaotic one. It had some really good races, but also a few cautions in there. But I guess that's to be expected with this car in the first place, because it's going to be pack racing literally every track that you go to. So it's going to be a great one to watch. And yes, Bourdais won the 2004 to 2007 Champ Car seasons. So 4 titles in a row. Thank you, Patrick, in chat for putting in that information. But going into this race, we have, let me quickly count, 13, 14, 15, 16 cars on the entry list. So we should have a few entries into this one, which is great. So it's time to quickly go over the starting grid one more time before we get going for the race. So, the starting grid for round 1 in the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup. Gavin Sanders and Shane Coogan on the first row. Gavin with a 42.6 flat. Very nice lap time, I have to say. It's actually not too slow. Oscar Fredrickson and Dakota DeMate on row 2. Row 3 is Jan Hoffman and Lewis Woodall. Row 4, Gary Gotzo and Sebastian Kinder. Row 5, Dan Morera and Thomas Geisler. Matt Hellman and Craig Forsyth make up row 6. Row 7, Ty Richter and Jonathan Diggs. And Brandon Dollar and Alex Van der Zandt on row 8. And those are your final cars on the starting grid too. Apologies in advance if I don't get any of the names right, from the new drivers in the league at least. I'm going to be trying my hardest here to get used to them, because some of them are going to be racing in the 2005 series as well. So underway for the pace lap here at Pocono. So, of course, 60 lap race here tonight, 150 miles. Tomorrow we go to the Legacy Phoenix Raceway for 100 laps and 100 miles. So that's your schedule for the weekend. As we have a car in the pits already, that's Lewis Woodall. I think he is starting from the pits, which I'm not sure might be too wise of a choice, if I'm honest. Because I might be jinxing the field here, but most of the guys in here I do know of that they are very clean drivers, so I'm not sure if we can even see a caution in this race. We ran Daytona 2 weeks ago in the main series, and that one, surprising everybody, went green literally all the way. Kind of messed my strategy up in that race, but was great for the league, of course. If you want to get involved, by the way, go to velocityonlinracing.com and you can find the Discord links over there. So, with the 34 lap fuel window, we should be seeing a one-stopper at least, which is going to be interesting when you time that. On road courses in this car, the overcut is more powerful, but on the ovals, it's really an unknown for myself at least. So, we will find out together, I guess. As Gavin Sanders rolls out of turn 3, with Shane Coogan alongside him, the pace car pulls in.
Green flag, green flag.
And we are underway for the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup, as Gavin gets a nice jump off the line. Into turn 1 we go, as he's already trying to break the draft. Quickly saw 4-5 wide there in the background, but now sorting themselves out again. As the field gets through turn 1 very cleanly, it's good to see. As Alex van der Sant has already gone up into P10, here he is, in a 97 car. So going to turn 3 now. This one is the flattest of the bunch. Still going side by side, just up in front of Alex. As Thomas Geiser and Craig Forsyth. Gary just up in front of that. As we have lap 1 in the books already. As Seb is blinking out a little bit. Hopefully his internet sorts itself out soon. But going 3 wide in the background there between Alex van der Sant, Craig Forsyth and Thomas Geisler. As Matt Hummel is getting involved as well, going around the outside of Alex van der Sant. Takes that position for now. And it's going to come back to the inside line now though, but the momentum should be on the outside. If past experiences from both myself and other people is anything to go by, and yes it is, the momentum is on the high side. So Matt Hummel pulls by Alex van der Sant to take over P10, sorry, as Seb Kinder is blinking out. It's confusing me a little bit at the moment, but Matt Hummel going up the inside of Thomas Geisler as well now. So Matt Hummel on the move early. As we see him working on the back of Craig Forsyth in the 27. Oh, gotta be careful with the outside wall there. Pushes up slightly, has to get out of the throttle. And Thomas Geisler goes by him again, says thank you very much. And Alex van der Sant going up the inside now as well. Very nice battle, of course. We mentioned this in the beginning of the show, that this race was going to be great to watch, and we're already seeing it. Just the racing here is phenomenal in this car, around this configuration of Pocono. But back to the front, it's the 2 VOR boys, Gavin Sanders and Oscar Fredriksson leading the way. Shane Coogan dropping down to 3rd from the start. Jan Hoffman gets up into P4 and Dakota De May dropping to P5. Biggest movers at the moment. Craig Forsyth up 4 and Alex van der Sant also up 4. As he's right behind this battle between Dan Morera and Matt Hummel. As Alex catches the curb on the inside there, not great for the balance, but generally speaking this car is very stable. So Alex got away with that one. Don't want to do that too often though. As Alex gets a really nice run out of turn 1. He's going to pull to the inside here for turn 2 on Dan Morera. And there you go, pass completed as Who's that? Ty Richter's gonna have a go as well on Dan Morera. As Ty goes to the inside line. Pushes up slightly, so Dan, with the momentum on the outside of turn 3, manages to pull back by again. And like I said on the pace lap, I'm not really expecting any cautions, and if we keep going like this, we're already 10% into this race distance. So, what I'm trying to say here is, we didn't get a caution at the start. The field is going to be spread out a little bit more now, so the caution chances are going to be less likely. So, I think now you're going to see the strategy element come into play. About a 34 lap fuel window. The tanks in this thing are slightly bigger than in the IR18. In this car you have 83.3 liters, which is 22 gallons, I believe. Compared to the 18.5 on the IR18, which is 70 liters. As Craig Forsyth moves by Sepp Kinder, question mark? Or he's blinking again, I really can't tell at the moment. Ah, there you go. So Sepp did drop back a little bit. Let's check his car for any damages. I don't see anything just yet. Oh, that's interesting. Bump drafting into turn 3 between Ty Richter and Sepp Kinder. As he blinks out again. So we'll cover Craig Forsyth behind Thomas Geisler for now. As Craig gets a very solid run out of turn 1. Let's see if he can pull by him into turn 2 here. Not close enough yet, so he's going to have to wait for turn 3 if he makes a move at all. This group is, I guess, led by Gary Gotso, who is about 2 seconds back on the cut of the maid, so I'm not sure if these guys were racing too hard early on, but they're for sure losing some time as Gavin Sanders is dropping down the timing screens. And I think he just blinked out, so not sure what went on there. So Oscar Fredriksson takes the lead after Gavin Sanders, I would assume, blinks out of the session, which is a very big shame because he was leading all 8 laps until this point. As Dakota makes a move on Shane Coogan for P3. Jan Hoffman up into P2 now. So he got by Coogan, and Dakota the Maid also got by Coogan then. Let's see if we can catch a replay from this battle. Here we go. So this is Jan Hoffman to the inside of Shane Coogan a lap ago, to the inside of turn 1. Coogan all the way up on the high side in the grey area, has to really get out of the throttle there. Loses a chunk of momentum. And now here comes Dakota right behind him. And he picks up the draft, goes to the inside and says thank you very much. Easy move there for Dakota, so solid stuff. I hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast, by the way. Once again, as always, please let me know if all the audio levels are correct. And also let me know if the stream is running smoothly, because I am running with 1080p 60 for a change. Decided to give that a go. So if this all goes well, I'm going to keep using this. Just looks a lot sharper than 720, doesn't it? So please let me know how it all looks and sounds. From testing it seemed fine, but in practice it of course can always differ a little bit. Especially with technical stuff like this, it's always a pain, so yeah, please let me know. And if needed, I will make changes for tomorrow's broadcast. But 12 laps in the book, as Oscar Fredriksson still leads from Jan Hoffman, Shane Coogan, Dakota the Maid, and Gary Gotso, the top 5 at this point. The top 10 is continuing with Thomas Geisler, Craig Forsyth, Alex van der Sant up 8 positions from where he started, the biggest mover in the field by far at the moment. And Matt Hummel, P9, and rounding off that top 10 is Dan Morera in the 26 from Costa Rica. Tried to roll the R there, didn't really work. I'm sorry, Dan. I tried. I'm glad that you're enjoying the camera angles because they're iRacings. I didn't really get the chance to get Whiplash Media's camera settings for this one, unfortunately, yet. Hopefully I can have them for the 2005 season. Actually, never mind, because we don't run Pocono in that. Helps if you know your own schedules. But yeah, I didn't get the chance to get there, so I'm just using iRacing's cameras tonight, unfortunately. Does the job, but of course theirs look a little bit better than these. Usually, anyway. As we see some shuffling for positions. Oof! That's close to the wall. Matt Hummel there on the outside line. Thomas Geisler gets by for P6. As Alex van der Sande goes by as well. And then Moreira is going to follow Alex through, I think. Or he's going to wait. Yes, he's going to wait. So Alex does go to the inside line. Hummel on the outside line should get the momentum now off the corner, which he does. He's going to pull back behind Alex. As he breaks the draft from Matt. As Dan is going to get involved in this now too. On board with Dan from the shoulder cam, which is made by myself, by the way. I'm quite proud of these onboard camera sets. I even have this one as well, by the way. Look at this. You can see the mirror in the driver's face. Oh, Alex almost got the wall there on the outside line, so I think he needs a new pair of pants after that one. But Dan Moreira to the inside now. Seems like an easy move for now, but Alex can get back at him. Yes, he does have the better momentum. So here he goes. Dan making a small move to the inside to kind of defend. And Alex sticking behind, again clipping the curb on the inside there. You don't want to do that too often. If you pay close attention to Alex's wing, he does have a little bit of front wing damage. I'm not sure where exactly he caught that, but it's not great for his aerodynamic performance in the traffic especially. There isn't much dirty air, but there is definitely some. As Thomas Geisler has now caught up to Gary Gotzo, he's going to pull to the inside. As they go side by side through the tunnel turn. With Gary on the outside, should have the momentum down the front straight. As Matt Hummel is getting involved again here as well. I have to say, Matt Hummel is making some very nice progress in this race. Up 3 positions from where he started. As he just loses a position to Dan Moreira, in fact. But I haven't really seen him around at all in any leagues. And to make your first start and be this impressive right away is very promising for him. As Moreira loses some momentum there, as well as Matt Hummel. Alex van der Sande now to the inside with a great amount of momentum. As we go 3 wide into turn 2 now, as Dan Moreira backs out. Alex got to watch his understeer there. The setup understeers on its own. As I have a battle for the lead now as well. It's going to be difficult to keep up with all the battles happening at this stage. But Jan Hoffman on the outside line pulls in front to take over the lead for the first time here tonight. Of course, the early laps were led by Gavin Sanders, then he disconnected. And Oscar Fredriksson has led since then. But now, of course, Jan Hoffman led his first lap tonight. Across the start-finish line. So Jan Hoffman racing for the Vortex Sim Racing team, which is really a powerhouse in the classic IndyCar series. And those guys know what they're doing in this car, especially with the open setups that they have. But they seem to do just fine with the fixed setup provided by us as well here, so good to see. Of course, we all know when they're a powerhouse in such a classic and popular league as theirs. They really know what they're doing anywhere, regardless of the setup, so the talent very clearly visible. So coming up on 1/3 into this one, 20 laps down of 60, so 40 laps still to go, and it's been clean and green so far. So I suppose before pit stops it's time to go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with you guys after this word from Apex Sage Coaching.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Back live at Pocono once again for round 1 in the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup as Jan Hofman pushes up the track in the grey and Oscar Fredriksson flies by him into the race lead again just as we came back from that commercial break. Oscar with a great run off of turn 1 retakes that lead, which he lost about 2 laps ago to Jan Hofman. And we're about 12 laps away from the first round of pit stops as well, the first and only rounds of pit stops that we should see tonight, as now the understeer really kicking in. The front tire is burning, almost. As Matt Helmo got by Dan Morera for P8 there on the outside line. Very nice move off the corner and moves up into P8. Oh yeah, with a very nice run into turn 1, decides not to go for it, surprisingly enough. I would have expected him to at least have a go, but he decided against it, as he did have another really good run this time around. Is he going to go for it this time? Oscar defends the inside line, so he's going to give Jan the outside now. But Oscar stays in front for now, so he doesn't have to worry about Jan pulling by on the outside now for turn 3, which I guess he was trying to cover, so good on him. As most of the field is now pretty spread out at the moment. So yeah, we've got the two leaders running together, then we have a second gap to Shane Coogan and then another second to Gary Gotso, sorry, Dakota the Maid, and then Gary Gotso another second and a half. Actually made that almost 2.5 seconds. Then it's just a single file train from P6 onwards, which is a little bit strange to see after all the racing that we've seen early on, but now the tires of course going off. So it becomes a little bit more difficult to follow, and actually let me get the weather up here as well. Okay, that's not really a good idea for you guys to see, but 36-degree track temperature right now, which is actually pretty cool, so I'm surprised to see the tires going off this much, but I guess we've all said it last year after this race, the setup that iRacing provides, because this is really the iRacing fixed setup for this car, the setup was so bad that the race was good. That's literally everything that was said after that race. And so it was decided to use it again. And I have to say, so far tonight's race has been excellent again. Not quite as chaotic as last year's, but still very interesting nonetheless. As we see another battle for position with Matt Hummel and Alex van der Sand. As we are coming up to halfway now. As Matt Hummel goes to the outside line now, it's going to have a go around Alex van der Zandt with a lot of momentum on the outside line. He's going to pull by easily. Now he's got to pick up the draft from the group of cars in front and pull in front of Alex as well to take the turn, and yes, he does. Textbook pass around Pocono Raceway, ladies and gentlemen. And right as I say that, he pushes up, but I think he's going to be fine. Question mark? Nope. Alex pulls to the inside line. Gets alongside, and he's going to go back to the inside for turn 2 now. As Matt Hummel lets that one slide for now. Back to the front, these guys still racing for the lead. And I'm curious when these guys are going to decide, I want to pit because these tires are dead. They could even do it at halfway, because around this track specifically, you don't really lose a lap at all when you pit. So it is more open, I guess, to undercutting and overcutting. And of course, various other strategies being involved. You could even take no tires at all and just fill up the tank a little bit. That's also possible, even though I don't think that's likely for this race. You could see it at tracks like Charlotte though. And I don't even remember who won this race last year. I'm gonna quickly look that up. Classic Christmas Cup 2020, round 5. It was actually Luis Gonzalez Nunez that won this race last year. Okay, cool. I thought it was somebody else, really. But Luis Gonzalez Nunez, the champion of this Cup last year, won the first race of the season as well. As we have the first car pulling into the pits, that's Gary Gotso. As he is running a Big Al tribute livery. I forgot to mention this earlier, by the way, but there you go. I'm not quite as an IndyCar nerd as Gary is. He's been around for a long time, so he knows what he's talking about. I don't. But all I do know is a throwback livery to, of course, Big Al, who passed away 2 days ago, I do believe it was. Which is sad, really. We did get the chance to see all the 4-time winners of the Indianapolis 500 together on the Yard of Bricks this year. For that, well, in the IndyCar community anyway, famous picture of them 4 together. Of course, Helio winning his 4th Indy 500 this year. But Gary comes out in P12. Dan Morera and Thomas Geisler follow him in the pits as well a lap later. As my overlays have stopped working on my screen, so I'm quickly going to reload them to try and get them back up, and there you go. They were still visible on the broadcast, just not for my personal viewing on my monitor, of course. But I have them back now, so I can see where everybody is. So Oscar Fredriksson still leads with Jan Hoffman, as they're actually going side by side now for the race lead with a few laps to go before their pit stops. As Gary's also racing with Thomas Geisler for what will be P7, I do believe. So we are over halfway into this thing. 38 laps to go. 28 laps, sorry. Coming up on the pit cycle for the race leaders. Of course, we saw a few cars pull off already and pitting early. As I have a motorcycle driving by my house. I apologize for that sound if anybody heard that on the broadcast, but struggles of living in a city next to the public roads. So here's the thing now for Oscar, by the way. So he's got Jan Hoffman right behind him, and he needs to pit as well. So he needs to brake going through turn 3 to slow down before the pit limiter has to be engaged. So if I was Oscar, I would be a little bit nervous because Jan has been so close behind me for so long. I would be having the thoughts of, does he know that I'm pitting? Will he run into the back of me? I think that's going through his mind as well right now. So hopefully I didn't jinx anybody there and all goes well. I want to talk about Alex van der Sande though for a quick second. This man is up 11 positions from where he started in tonight's race. 11 with a broken front wing as well. So if you guys weren't sure what the Season 5 main series champion was capable of, well, there it is. He's capable of driving a damaged car to the front. As he has got Matt Hummel behind him as well. But yeah, going back to the leaders, I would say that we're going to see pit stops either this or the next lap. As Oscar goes to the high side here, Jan going to the inside. That might be a signal from Jan that he's going to pit. It is not, he stays out with Oscar. As we have 25 laps to go this time by. Shane Coogan is the next car to pull into the pits. As he comes down. Now you don't need to take as much fuel as you started the race with. I think you need about 60 liters, which is a bit of a short fill. So your car is going to be lighter towards the end of the stint compared to this one. As he pulls into the pit box, 4 tires and fuel going in. The reason I know he takes tires is because the car lifts up on the jacks. As Oscar Fredriksson pulls down into the pits from the race lead. So Jan Hoffman gonna stay out 1 more lap, maybe even 2. So this is gonna be interesting. Who can nail the pit entrance and exit to try and take the lead? Is it going to be Oscar Fredriksson or Jan Hoffman when he comes into the pits the next lap? Here he is. Into the box. Does he take tires? Yes, he does. And so does the cut of the mate behind him. Sepp Kinder also in from P7. So Oscar off the jacks and away again. Jan Hoffman coming through turn 3 now. I'm sure he's going to be pushing the pit entrance, so he's really got to nail this one. Locks up the race a little bit, but slows it down. Very nice pit entrance from Jan Hoffman here. And this might even be enough to get him into the lead, because Oscar sure didn't look as impressive as this one. So Alex van der Sande into the pits, Matt Hummel into the pits, as well as Brandon Dollar. Which now leaves Oscar Fredriksson, the first car out on track, who has already pitted. Half the drive's already pitted, Lily. So Jan Hoffman coming out of the pits. Right there into turn 1 he goes. And Jan Hoffman with a beautiful pit cycle takes the lead. He's going to get up to speed now though, so Oscar will close up a little bit. But Jan Hoffman with a beautiful entrance and exit to the pits. Really, he gains 1.5 seconds on Oscar because he was about 3/10 behind him when he entered the pits as well. Oscar, that is. So beautiful round of pit stops from the number 5 car. And he's got 9/10 on Oscar here. So he's got fresher tyres, although it's 1 lap, it's going to make some difference. He's got the clean air too. And of course it's a race to the finish from here on out as well. So I don't think he is going to let this one go very easily. So this might have been the move for the race win. Provided we don't have a caution, of course. As we watch Sepp Kinder close into the back of Damerer for P9. Not much really happening here. We did see Sepp running up front a little bit ago, but I think he had some issues with his connection and he dropped back for some reason. Might have clipped the wall as well, which is not great. Matt Hummel continues to impress on his first ever start with us here in the VOR Classic Christmas Cup for the 2021 edition. If you're watching this broadcast and you want to get involved in tomorrow's race, definitely join the Discord server. I will work on posting that link in the YouTube chat in just a moment. Lily, I do not have that information available to me, unfortunately. I would have showed it if I could, but sadly I don't. The fastest pit stops, but I think Jan Hofmans is easily the fastest. There's the Discord link to the Iro 5 server. So we have the Classic Christmas Cup, which is this series that you're watching right now. Tomorrow's race you can still join as well if you're watching this. We also have the 2005 series, which is starting on the 8th of January at... where is it at? I don't even know. Scheduled 2005. Homestead Miami Speedway. Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking me a question. It was an exclamation mark. So you see, I actually broke my second monitor after the Daytona race in the main series. So it's really difficult for me sometimes to read some messages. I'm sorry. But yeah, it was a very impressive pit stop indeed, Lily. You're completely right, yes. So Oscar Fredriksson is pushing right now. He's got the gap down to 0.6 of a second. So he's gained about 0.3 of a second in 5-6 laps. Steady progress is also progress, so that's what's important here. And Gavin just confirmed on the Discord his power went out. So yeah, that explains why he disconnected from the session, which is a big shame. Of course, Gavin was leading the early laps in this race before his teammate Oscar Fredriksson took over, and then Jan Hofman briefly took the lead from Oscar before he took it back, and then lost it again to Jan Hofman during the pit cycles just a moment ago. But Jan Hofman does have the difficulty of a lapped car in front of him though, that is Shane Coogan, who is about to go a lap down. I believe that is, that is Ty Richter, it's similar color of the blue. Or teal or cyan, however you want to call it. As Ty is going to let Oscar go here as well. So currently 3 drivers out of the race. Lewis Woodall, I believe, has had an incident. Greg Forsyth had an incident too, he died. Might have even been related to Lewis Woodall, who knows. And Gavin Sanders, of course, has power going out, so he disconnected early on lap 9. And then we've got 2 cars running a lap down in 12th and 13th, which are Ty Richter and Brandon Dollar. So Oscar is slowly closing in the gap to Jan Hofman, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough towards the end, because Jan Hofman really has kept the lead very nice up until this point. And you can see Oscar losing time into the turn again. He might gain some of that back down onto the backstretch, yes he does. It might also be partially due to the draft kicking in as well, so you might be having some understeer from the dirty air into turn 1 and the rest of the track being fine. Where of course he can use the draft to close back in again, which I think is exactly what he's doing. So once Oscar catches up to Jan Hofman, if he does it in the first place, is Jan is going to hold the high line through turn 3. That's all he really has to do. And of course guard the inside for turn 1 and turn 2. You also don't want to sacrifice turns 1 and 2 too much on the exit of 1, because then you're going to lose the momentum. Just like it happened there. Oscar with a great run, he's going to close in on that draft. Here he is. Oscar, ooh, that was so damn close. I almost wanted to use a bad word there. Ooh, that was close. The reason I react so extreme, by the way, is because I know exactly what Oscar was feeling at that point. At that moment, when your car just pushes up towards the wall, you just think, oh, and then some really bad words. Don't push into the wall. But he saved it, so that was really close. But Jan Hoffman pulls away to half a second again. Even though I'm European, I'm not American, I still do try to not use any bad language. If I do sometimes, I'm sorry. But, phew. Alright, regroup and go again, Oscar. That was close. So, these guys have pulled 5 seconds on Matt Hummel in P3. So that just goes to show the pace these guys have been setting all night long. And surprisingly still, we have gone clean and green since the green flag dropped. About 50 minutes ago. Make that 40 minutes ago. No real battles for position going on apart from this one. We do have a few closer cars, which include Matt Hummel and Dakota De Main, and also Alex van der Sant and Thomas Geisler. But apart from that, this is the closest battle on track, so we're going to keep an eye on this one. The two leaders going for that race win. Of course, no money involved in this league in terms of prize money and entry fees. Hint, if you want to get involved, it's free. But yeah, it's just racing for bragging rights. It's hard racing, which is what everybody is here for. As Jan pushes up slightly, gets close to the Monster Energy sign, which is not where you want to be. As Oscar has now pulled the gap down to 0.3 of a second. As we drive on board with Oscar. Not quite the look that he has, because he is using a VR headset, but this is the closest we can get to it at the moment. Currently got 4 viewers. Welcome everybody, hope you're enjoying the show. If you do, make sure to leave a like and subscribe as well. Tomorrow we do it all over again at the Legacy Phoenix Raceway, which is a 1 mile short oval. And you will think that will be a quieter race. Well, I can tell you from a hosted race we did a few days ago, it was actually last week, that race is going to be even crazier than this one, so make sure to tune in to that one tomorrow, or of course if you want to race in it, you're more than welcome to. Discord link has been posted in chat a few moments ago too, so join the Discord, sign up, and get involved with these guys. Very solid 16 car count tonight. We hope to keep at least this number going forward and even grow that a little bit. Would be nice, of course. So 7 laps to go. Next time we just cross the line for 8. I thought it would change, but 8 laps to go then. As Jan Hoffman pushes up towards the outside wall again, so Oscar Fredriksson right there to try and pounce. But I quickly want to thank Apex Age Coaching, by the way, for the support this year. Of course, title sponsor for Season 5 in the main series. And also for the Christmas Cup. So I want to thank Isaac's involvement with VOR. He does great coaching lessons for iRacing with mainly the IR18. So if you want to get better at iRacing, and much like the commercial says, make last lap passes for the win, then go to Twitter at ApexSageCoach and contact Isaac over there. And Patrick Silvassi will be here tomorrow, he says in chat. Looking forward to that. But 7 laps to go. Well, 6.5 really. Jan Hoffman under pressure from Oscar Fredriksson, who is right there. He has closed the gap from a 1.5 seconds to literally nothing at this stage. As Oscar goes to the clean air to try to make a run on the outside line. Jan Hoffman gonna push up the track here. That's gonna leave Oscar with a great run and the momentum off the corner as we cross the line for 6 to go. Jan doesn't really make a significant move to defend that position as we go side by side through turn 1. As Oscar pushes up slightly, but the two get away with it. Clean racing so far. Hopefully these two keep it this way. Of course, 6 laps to go. Nothing really on the line, so they can all go for it as much as they like. As we cross the line for 5 laps to go now. Still have plenty of time in the sim left as well, so we're gonna get this race in as is intended. As Oscar gets so close to the back of Jan Hoffman into turn 3. At this point it's difficult to tell who's gonna win this one. I want to say Jan Hoffman though, because he has the clean air and he's got the fresher tires as well. And of course he jumped Oscar in the pits about 20 laps ago, and Oscar has been pushing ever since, so he's gonna be feeling the effects of tire wear and overheating perhaps as well. A little bit sooner than Jan Hoffman will be. As Brandon Dollar has just DNF'd as well from this race. He's gone 3 laps down into P13. So that leaves us with 11 cars running on the lead lap. As we have 3 laps to go here at Pocono for round 1 in the 2021 Classic Christmas Cup. Powered by Apex Sage Coaching. Once again, check it out on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach. But this is the race for the win. As Jan guards the inside line here. If I were Jan, I would be trying to drive the high line from now on. Which he seems to be trying. Doing very nicely indeed at the moment. Oscar with a very solid run still though. Tucks back into the draft. As Oscar dives it down into turn 1, he's got a great run through turn 1, picks up the draft. This might be the opportunity for Oscar Fredriksson to take over the race lead. Jan Hoffman's got to cover the inside line, which he does. As we go through turn 2 for the penultimate time. Into turn 3, drive the high line, Jan. Hold it there. And he does do that, but Oscar with a great run once again through turn 3 across the start-finish line for the final time to start the final lap in this race. White flag is out. And we have a true battle for the race win here in the Christmas Cup. In a race that went caution-free and will go caution-free to the end as well, as Oscar pushes up to the wall, and that's it. Jan Hoffman's got to keep it clean from now on, and he's got this one in the bag. Oscar just pushed up the track there in turn 1. Has to get out of the throttle, lost all the momentum that he had for a few laps there. And Jan Hoffman covers him beautifully. Just backs off a little bit into the corner to kind of make Oscar lift, and that was the move for the win right there. So Jan Hoffman coming out of turn 3, he's going to win the season opener for the 2021 VOR Classic Christmas Cup. Beautifully driven by the number 5 car. And he is your deserving winner here at the Pocono Raceway. So Oscar Fredriksson finishes P2, Matt Hummel finishes P3 in his first ever race here in Velocity Online Racing. The Cut of the Mate finishes P4, Alex van der Sant finishes in the top 5 after starting 16th and last. So great run from Alex, despite the front wing damage. As Shane Coogan finishes P6, Thomas Geisler P7, Gary Godsoe finishes 8th, Demerer in 9th, and Sepp Kinder in the 10th position. As we see some messing around again. Will we see donuts or no? I think he's waiting for us to see, for him to see himself on the broadcast. Could be why. Or maybe he doesn't have a clutch mat. That could be the case as well. Either way, yes, he towed to the pits. Okay, so we're not going to see donuts, unfortunately, but what a race we've seen today. It involved some great battles and also some strategy, with the pit cycles playing a very important part in this race. So we'll quickly go over the race results one final time, go to a commercial break, and then be right back with the interview. So starting with the race results for round 1 of 6 at Pocono Raceway here for the Classic Christmas Cup. So Jan Hofman wins by 0.377 over Oscar Fredriksson, who finishes P2. Matt Hummel finishes P3, 6.7 behind the winner. 7.6 behind the winner is the Cut of the Mate. Alex van der Sant rounds off the top 5. Rounding off the top 10 is Shane Coogan, Thomas Geisler, Gary Godsoe, Dan Marrera, and Sepp Kinder. And rounding off the entire field is Jonathan Diggs, Ty Richter, Brandon Dollar, and the DNFs of Lewis Woodall, Craig Forsyth, and Gavin Sanders, who disconnected on lap 8. So, time for a commercial break, and we will be right back with your driver interviews.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Alright, back here from Victory Lane. We'll bring in the 3rd place finisher first, Matt Hummel. And there you go. Hello, sir. Welcome to VOR, first of all. And second, congratulations on a great run to P3 tonight.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Definitely a fun race, and I love these cars. And I was kind of too skeptical about Pocono because I really don't like Pocono, but it turned out a lot better than what I expected.
Well, perfect. Last year when this race was ran, the setup was called so bad that the race was good, so we kind of went with it again to try and shake up the show a little bit there, but glad that you enjoyed it. So you said you love this car. Quickly, just from my own curiosity, where have you driven this car, or really have you driven it anywhere?
So I've driven this car since I joined iRacing when it was in the Delar Dash, and ever since then, you know, been doing a lot more IndyCar stuff. Did a lot of dirt racing for a while, and did a lot of it of stock car. Now I'm kind of switching my routes to open wheel. So any open wheel car I get into, I always have fun with it. They're just fun to drive. And then the IR05, it's a car that, you know, I really wanted to race with a lot of people with since the Delar Dash days, and ever since it, you know, you can't race it, and it's kind of hard to find guys to run with. Really, it's really fun to race with a lot of guys, for sure.
Well, we're happy to have you in the series, and yeah, tomorrow is going to be another great one. Are you going to be there for Phoenix?
I will be there for Phoenix, yes.
Perfect. That one's going to be an exciting one. On the 1 mile oval, we could see some really big pack racing, so that's going to be interesting to watch. But anyway, going back to your race really quickly. It went clean and green all the way. Were you expecting any cautions, or did you kind of expect the field to just spread out and keep it green?
So the way what the setup was set up tonight, I thought we were going to have at least a caution or two. I know there was a few incidents on track, but I was not expecting it to go green. Was not expecting everybody to fan out, and I sure was not expecting to finish in the top 5 or get a podium. I was hanging around probably about 8 or 9 throughout the entire race, and when pit stops happened, I went in pit with Alex in the 97, and he got in the back of me and coming off of 2, or coming off of 1, excuse me. It's kind of hard with this track here.
It has 6 turns, right?
He got in the back of me coming off of 1, and I think he got some front wing damage, which is unfortunate for him. But yeah, 3rd place, first race back, first race in this league for sure, and it was definitely unpredictable, and it was definitely a lot of fun.
Well, you did very well indeed. Before I let you go, any shout-outs to any sponsors or people out there, or not really?
I got to give a shout-out to you, of course, the league, VOR. It's awesome to be able to join a league that runs these cars. Found them on Facebook this morning, so I heard up, applied, and actually applied an hour before the race. Definitely got to give a shout to all my friends and stuff who motivate me to race. The leagues I run in, my team, of course, Hums Esports. We're a brand new team, just a single car team, but we're gonna try to get more guys involved in open wheel. That's pretty much about it, and I'm still shocked that I got 3rd.
Well, go out and celebrate, and don't drink too much though. Don't be hungover for tomorrow's race.
Nah, I think I'll save that for tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough. Well, anyway, look forward to seeing you tomorrow, man, and yeah, have fun with celebrating, however you're gonna do it.
Will do. Thanks, Julian.
See ya. So that was Matt Hummel finishing in the 3rd position. Actually, gotta say, I'm quite disappointed he's not gonna drink, but it's a Saturday night anyway. But let's bring in Oscar Fredriksson, the driver, finishing in 2nd. Hello, Oscar. Very solid run from you today. Just didn't quite have enough during the pit cycles and towards the end.
Yeah, was not expecting that, showing up with no practice and no experience in this car, but it was a fun race.
Yeah, you were definitely up there racing for the win towards the end, but quickly wanted to go back to that pit cycle there. I saw you going into the pits, and it didn't look too bad from my side. It wasn't great, but it wasn't too bad either. But then when I saw Jan come out in front of you like that, I was like, geez, what did he do?
Oh yeah, I had the same feeling when I saw the relative to him. And I mean, I had the same feeling right away going for the pit entry, because like I was at the pit speed like 10 meters before the line. I did 1 practice pit in the warm-up and thought I found a good braking point, but with like no fuel in the car, it was obviously too early.
Yeah, well, I suppose you still did really well to recover from that. You did have a crack at the race win there for just 1 lap, really it was, which sadly didn't quite work out for you, but still a 2nd position is very respectable considering you barely / never drive this car. I do know, by the way, that you raced this car once last year in California, so not completely inexperienced, I'm just trying to say, Nah, I'm just kidding with you, but still a great run from you tonight, and tomorrow Phoenix. What are your thoughts for that race?
I mean, yeah, you're right in saying I have no experience. This was my 2nd race ever in this car. I did that 1 Christmas Cup race last year, and I was terrible. I think I spun like 2 times or something.
Everybody did.
Yeah. So Phoenix, I don't really have any expectations, and I didn't for this race either. But seeing I had kind of good pace here, maybe I can have some good pace there too. It's a very different track, but gonna be good fun.
Well, gonna look forward to it. I want to ask you for sponsor shoutouts too, but it's really self-explanatory, but go for it anyway.
Yeah, big shout out to VOR. So thank you to you for doing this broadcast and putting on the league.
See, perfect. I just knew you were gonna say those words exactly.
One more thing. I forgot that Gavin was in the lead. I don't know what happened to him, but he disconnected out of nowhere, and I don't think he came back to Discord. So that was a shame. Could have been a fun three-way battle for the win, maybe.
Yeah, could have been a 1-2-2, but his power went out, unfortunately, so that meant the end of the race. Yeah. Well,
yeah, that's
anyways,
a shame.
Go out and celebrate P2 and get ready nice and fresh here tomorrow for Phoenix.
Yes, thank you. See ya.
See ya. So that's Oscar Fredriksson finishing P2. Let's bring in Jan Hoffman for his first ever win in this league in VOR, and also I'm going to be interviewing you for the first time. I'm a bit nervous, I have to say, but congratulations on the race win tonight, Jan. I know it wasn't very easy out there. You were behind the race leaders for a little bit in the beginning, but through that pit cycle, which was fantastic, by the way, you managed to take the lead. Just quickly talk us through your race.
Yeah, thank you. And don't worry, I'm also nervous. The race start, pretty good. I think I gained 1 or 2 positions and then was up to P3. But somebody dropped just when I was in P3, so I gained another spot. And then it was just between Oscar and myself. We had a stable gap behind, and I stayed behind him to save a little bit of fuel, to have a shorter pit stop, which played out at the end. And after the pit stop, it was just managing the gap, but seeing how he gained just a few tenths here and there every few laps just made me a little bit nervous. And then at the end, he had a few good runs, but the big cloud that came with like 5 laps to go helped a bit to gain some grip back in turn 1 especially. And then I had the pace to stay up front.
All right. Well, it sounds so simple when you put it that way. But still, it was a very interesting race to watch, and you're definitely a very deserving winner, because that battle in the final few laps was very interesting and very close at some points as well. I think Oscar almost ran into the back of you at one point. But tomorrow we go to Phoenix, the second race of this second annual Christmas Cup. Your thoughts on that? Actually, wait, no, I don't think you're going to be racing in it, are you? Because you've got CIS coming up.
Yes, I will drop this one for CIS.
Yes,
because I like Indy so much more than Phoenix. Sorry.
I don't blame you.
If it was the other way around, I would do this. I would race with you guys. So it's just a matter of tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. So Anyway, okay. Well, we'll just gloss over that then. We'll see you next week for our race at where is it even? Charlotte, I think it is. I don't even know. But we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks, and have fun tomorrow.
Thanks. You too, man. All right, that was Jan Hoffman. I forgot that he's racing in CIS, so we have 1 or 2 races that do conflict, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is sometimes. So he's going to be racing at Indy in that league. So it's going to be interesting for him what he can do there, knowing we did Indy in that league a month ago. I think it was 2 months ago, 1.5 months ago it was, the Indy 500. So the memory is still fresh for him. Hopefully for Jan, he can go win over there as well tomorrow. But that's going to wrap it up here tonight for us. Want to quickly thank all the viewers for tuning in, especially Lily and Patrick. I don't think anybody else said something in chat. We did have 4 or 5 viewers at one point, so I want to thank you guys as well. But especially the people in chat, thank you for tuning in. It's greatly appreciated for all your support, of course. Thank you. And of course, Apex Age Coaching for sponsoring the main series and also supporting us with this Christmas Cup as well. So check it out, Apex Age Coach on Twitter. And for one final time, I'm going to play the commercial break. And that's going to wrap it up for real now. So thanks everybody once again. And see you all tomorrow for round 2 at Phoenix in the 2021 VOR Classic Christmas Cup. Take care, everybody.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.